Okay. We hot. We here. It's the table. Better than motherfucking cable. The Roundhouse Roundtable. You already know we here. It's me, Armani T, and I got B in the building, and we here to talk about UFC Vegas 69. Let's get it.
I swear my glow up in lightning. Hot yeah, something like lightning. This shit a hit on my psychic. She want me lick, I'm excited. See, I feel that that's my business, and that's why I'm business minded. Need a push, get behind it. It's a science, apply it. Worst come to worst, and tried it. Get it bad, get inspired. Shoot your shot, just the effort. I admire. You're high, it ain't looking for friends at this point.
Oh my God,
My circle is smaller than the point.
no cap.
I'd rather sit in voice than hearing the fake on their voice.
We already we here. UFC Vegas 69. Aaron Blanchfield versus Andrade. We was talking about the people that have specialties, how they're starting to get kind of like moved out slowly of the UFC, or not just out of just MMA, because
or
like
position.
or their position, their spot, they're losing their spots because Jessica Andrade is a striker, heavy striker, not really known for being on the ground.
No, let's talk about it when we get there. Don't jump ahead of it. Hold up. I know my boo got beat up, but we can talk about that when it's time to talk about it.
I know, but it's gonna speak to all the fights that we talk about later. How adding well-roundedness and being well-rounded to your game is a good thing. But yeah, we're gonna talk about it. So
yeah, because that conversation keeps coming up. It's not just constantly. So
whenever we get these fighters that we was like, oh, okay, we remember what they did back in the day. We remember what they did a few years ago. But let's get into the no cap recap. We're gonna start it off with Clayton Carpenter versus Juan Camilo Ronderos from Colombia. That's how you're supposed to say it.
All right.
And this was a round one. Got it done submission. And Clayton Carpenter was looking he was looking nice, but that's when he got on the ground and at first he looked like he wasn't able to handle himself for a second. And then that's when he ended up getting to the back, scrambling to the back.
There was a couple other submissions threatened before this happened, which I like the flow that was happening, because once he couldn't capitalize on something, it switched to another thing, and then a reversal happened, and then he didn't attack the arm quick enough, the choking arm, and he got caught.
That was a clear he got caught type thing.
Yeah.
But Ronderos jiu-jitsu was looking good. It was just Clayton Carpenter had some extra grappling and seemed like wrestling added to his what he had going on. And that's why he's undefeated as well, too. So that's gonna read into that as well. He was looking good.
Absolutely.
Next, we got AJ Fletcher versus Timba Garimbo. And this was round 2 submission. This was a deep guillotine. And this one was hard to watch for a second because once Garimbo got on the ground, that was his safe place. But it's like he was just getting beaten at his safe place. He kept losing the position. I was hoping he'd throw up more submission type things, but that's what got him caught. He didn't have to take him down. He could have stayed on the feet because he was doing the right thing on the feet. And I felt like Garimbo, he had a good knee that was waiting for AJ Fletcher if he stayed on his feet. So,
yeah.
But AJ Fletcher came through with the wrestling and the well-roundedness to handle his business.
It is. And then he's used to being the shorter fighter, but there was about a 10-inch difference between him and AJ Fletcher. So it was so frustrating because he could have easily kept him at bay with the jab, with the kicks, and just picked him apart from afar. But seeing that he had recent victories with submissions, I guess he just wanted to continue on that train and take him to the ground. But in round 1, he had issues keeping AJ Fletcher in a good position. And for him to want to do that again in round 2, it's just like, I was like, what are you doing? But maybe he wasn't as confident on the feet, or he was worried about the power difference. I'm not sure, but being a lengthy fighter like that, you gotta establish your game plan, and you're gonna have to make adjustments. I know AJ Fletcher, he constantly has to make those adjustments, but he's also used to being the shorter fighter. And he said something at the end. He's like, reach doesn't mean a thing when it comes to MMA, and I honestly disagree. It doesn't mean anything when you don't know how to
When you
use it
don't have to
properly.
use it, yeah.
Yeah, so if he know how to use his reach properly, he could have definitely won this with ease, but it did not go out that way. So this one sucked.
Yeah, like with the right footwork and the right footwork, reach is a huge problem. Like
Yes.
if it's unmatched. That's why fucking reach is a measured factor in all of this. Like that's why they have it named, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why foot size is not on there. Like that's
Not
so
foot
so
size.
yeah, exactly. Like it's not other things. It's not just random shit. Like it's reach is for a reason. Like they don't even show the reach of the legs because the reach of the hands is more significant, you know, even though I think they should show the leg reach as well, because
They
that's,
do.
you know, sometimes.
Yeah. It's not
but
all
it
the time,
but
but
it's not in like the drop down, no.
yeah.
But shout out to AJ Fletcher on getting it done, like looking good and looking well rounded. So next we got Ovin St. Preux versus Felipe Lins. And Ovin St. Preux got finished first round. Felipe Lins just overwhelmed him. Like
Yeah.
it's just like he was just like, all right, I'm gonna get this old guy out of here just by stressing him out. Like, because like Ovin St. Preux wasn't he took the worst shots towards the end,
Yeah.
but the shots that he
got
was
dropped.
taking, you know, they was peppering him enough to make him put his hands up and back up.
Or push him away. But that's not a good defense. I went back and watched a couple of OSP's fights, and his defense is kind of just like pushing people away. And I was like, you got to do something different. And even at the weigh-ins, OSP didn't look well. And so that just gave me just like, let's see if the walkout's different. We didn't get a chance to see the walkout, just him in the cage, and it didn't look any different. It looked like he didn't want to be there, or he was
Yeah.
forced to be there, or he's just there for a check. It didn't look like fighting is in him anymore. And I don't know if this was his last fight, but it needs to be based off of the performance that happened. Maybe it's time to hang it up. You know, you what 39, 40? It's time. Definitely with a performance like that, it's time.
And it was crazy because it wasn't like a cardio thing. It was just like an inactivity.
He
You
looked
know,
depleted.
like it was nothing that he could give. So
Yeah.
that's the rough part about that one. Like you know, he's looking like I hope everything's all right with him. Like, you know, and at this time, I hope he goes back and look at this fight and sees and knows exactly what it is, and you know, has that serious conversation with himself and makes that
And
right
say maybe,
decision.
yeah, maybe this is it. And then that's okay. But to continue to put yourself out there and just end up on a fast trajectory downhill, that's not it. You know, just
Mm.
sometimes you gotta bow out gracefully, and that was a
That would have
huge
been a
time.
great time. Still great
Yes.
time.
Yes.
But shout out Felipe Lins on getting a W from Brazil. I want to see what you could do on the ground, and I want to see you box with somebody actually. That don't always go over with everybody. Just overwhelm them to that. That's when those body shots come, and that's when you get those uppercuts
Them
and people
knees.
start coming over the top. I just want to see him box a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but shout out to him on the W. Next, Jamal Emmers versus Kusian Askabov. Jamal Emmers got the W unanimous. Looked great, well-roundedness like we were talking about. Has a chin enough to handle those shots. And it's just like he looked like he was supposed to be the underdog in this one. This was supposed to be a
A
layup for
layup.
Askabov.
It did not go that way.
And it
This
did
is
not go that way.
this is the third undefeated guy he's put a 1 on.
Yeah.
And I appreciate this because he knew in his last fight that he had too much respect for the fighter and couldn't get the job done. So I'm happy he was able to revamp. And sometimes you gotta put that aside. You gotta put the respect aside and do what you want to do and impose your game plan. And very happy that he did it that way, because he
Exactly.
definitely gave this man a hard time and ended up with the victory.
Yep. He took a wild ass up kick though. That's one thing that
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
but when he brushed it off, I was like, okay, all right, keep it going. But you know, I always it's always weird when I get so nervous more than any time in a fight when I'm watching people like one person on the ground and like trying to pass their guard while standing up in MMA, because y'all knees are just so vulnerable. Some people just don't even be caring. It look like they don't even care about their knees, but it's such a dangerous position. So I wonder, you know, well, never mind. They ain't if they ain't taking out oblique kicks, then they ain't taking out those grounded knee kicks because you know you on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Jamal Emmers on the win. I want to see what else he does. Featherweight starting to look crazy for real. And they talking about championship, and I was thinking about it, it's like the whole time he was fighting, I was like, he got it. Like got the total package. You know what I mean? Just now it's just about putting it together. Like he got the gas tank, he got the chin,
He got the
he got the
team.
hands, he got the jujitsu, got the wrestling. So it's just like it's there for Jamal Emmers. It's just about how hard he want to go and how far he want to go. So shout out to him on the big dub.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, we got a performance of the night. We got Lena Landsberg versus Myra Bueno Silva. And this ended in round 2, submission, motherfucking knee bar.
The
Motherfucking knee
way
bar.
she flowed into that knee bar. It was
Yeah.
just, and oh, I can't get this. I'm just gonna flow into the next thing, and that's what you need: your aggressive jujitsu, and to be able to chain submissions together. So when something doesn't work, you got to back up with the backup and the backup.
Mm-hmm.
And she did that. But I was worried about Lisa Landberg anyways because of her last fight, and she's getting up there in age. And with the nickname as Elbow Queen, you kind of just putting a target on your back. And
Yeah.
Mara gave
For the
her
young
some.
people.
Yes, Mara gave her some good elbows. She was trying to throw some back in there, but they wasn't as powerful, and her stand-up game didn't look too well. So Myra's looking great. She's looking well rounded, and she looked like she said, she's ready. She's ready for that
Mm-hmm.
championship, but she's willing to take her time to get there. But she's like, "Who's beat me? Who's ready? What's up? I'm here. I'm trying to
Yeah.
fight. Let's go." So I liked her energy, and I liked the way she looked in this fight. She looked phenomenal.
Yep. She definitely looked good on the hands
Mm-hmm.
and on the ground. So
Mm-hmm.
like you said, she definitely flows straight into that transition. And once you saw her get her hips like by her knee, that or under her knee on her thigh, before she even grabbed it, I was like, that's out of there. That's out of there. The knee bar is so slept on when it comes to MMA because it's so available. It's so available from half guard. It's so available from mount. Like there's so many positions that you can find yourself in. Scrambles you find yourself in, like getting out of leg submissions, knee bar. There's so many options you got when it comes to the knee bar, even like a last resort type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so but Lena Landsberg, you know, she's now about to be the acceptance elbow queen. Like the because people are like now, like other fighters are like taking that as like as a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, hey, but that's you know, I guess you gotta have balls to, you know, name yourself that for real. So shout out to Myra Bueno Silva on getting the performance of the night. Big W in the rankings now. And I'm about to see what she do. Like women's bantamweight is definitely going up. Amanda Nunes about to have her work cut out for her.
Yes, she is.
For real. If she goes back to bantamweight. I don't know. She was supposed to be going.
Yeah, she
One of the
said she's
two.
gonna bounce around. Yeah.
Next, we got the actual fight of the night, Nazim Sadukov versus Evan Elder. And this was a doctor stoppage. So like I don't think that it was that bad of a cut, but I'm not a fucking doctor. So so I don't think it was that bad of a cut. I didn't even know when the cut started. I think it was the knee. The knee was when the cut started. But these motherfuckers was going at it like they was trying to like they both were like trying to compete to be the best one in a gym or something like that. Like they was
I had to see what the scorecards looked like before the stoppage, and both of them went the elder. And I think it should have been like a split because they were going back and forth and it was really close. So the fact that they gave them both the elder, I don't agree with that. Do I agree with the stoppage? I do, because it was right above the eye. It was very close to the eye. And I knew the way that they were banging with each other that this was going to be fight of the night. Because they was just going back and forth and it was so close. It was just like somebody's hitting or somebody's starting and finishing, and it just kept swapping back and forth. And I thought this was a really good fight. They definitely showed well-roundedness, standing up and on the ground. The reversals were crazy. This was just an all-around good fight.
This the fight that we ain't think we gonna need again, but we do. This is one of those ones, especially for the lightweight. Because both of these guys gonna be moving up apparently. Like they like nice. This is what speaks to what you talk about when it comes to damage and like elbows and knees and those things that really cause damage. That was one knee got the stoppage. Fight of the night. They went off. That should have been a co-main.
They probably didn't know it was gonna be like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. So
but next, we got Jim Miller versus Alexander Hernandez, and this was that fight for Alex Hernandez where he had to get past that wall. You know, he had to question himself and go inside of himself for this one because Jim Miller was fucking coming.
Yeah, and I hope he didn't think this was just gonna be like something he could just walk through. An old guy. Jim Miller is not that guy. You're gonna have to push through him.
This one of those times where guys are getting older and they lose a fight and you're like, you know, I don't know if this is the last one, kind of like we was just talking about Ovin Prue, but Jim Miller was in there. He needed another one.
Yeah, I think the next fight is supposed to be his last fight. He's trying to be done.
Yeah, but Jim Miller is still looking nice, still looking sharp. Shit, for fun, if you want to retire and fucking go to fucking PFL to just, play the lotto for $1 million real quick because he got the hands for it. I don't see why not. Like Jim Miller is still looking nice, looks about 10 years younger than what he actually is. And Alex Hernandez had a fucking time.
Yeah.
And I think it was for Alex Hernandez of him being inside his head, because when you just going against somebody and you giving them all you got and they're just constantly coming back, it's just like you questioning everything. So I think Alex Hernandez, he did a good job in, finding this battle for himself and really pushing through to get the W. Next, we got William Knight versus Marcin Prahino. And this one was a W for Marcin. Unanimous. All he had to do was keep kicking the leg because William Knight was being very stagnant in the fight. I don't know if he was hurt, leg was hurt, or he was concerned about the power. It was little activity.
William Knight threw 8 shots out of that entire 15-minute bout. Maybe this should be your last one as well. There was no activity. It seems like he was very scared to engage or fearful to engage. But as you can see, Marcin, he was very hesitant to come in striking distance. Use that to your advantage. Marcin was way more scared of William Knight than William Knight was scared of him. But Marcin just used that to his advantage and just kept kicking the shit out of him. And it's just, I don't know. Maybe it is time for you to be done, because that was just ridiculous. If you worked for me and I was in charge of the UFC, you can't come back. I'm sorry. No, with a performance like that, you cannot come back. No way.
Damn. I don't know. I would want to know what's going on. William Knight seemed like the dude that's just like not trying to be like a complainer or something like that, or not trying to be like the one that's, crying about stuff. But it's just like if something's going on, like it's showing in your fight.
Yeah.
It's showing in your fights. I don't know. And it's just like if you're not going to say nothing, then that's when they just like, all right, see you.
Yeah.
But Marcin, he could have like you can say he could have did more, but at the same time, he wasn't given anything to really work with. But at the same time, he was doing everything. He was like, somebody got to win this.
Yeah.
And I'm not about to get knocked out in here.
Yeah. He didn't
so
want to get
if
knocked
he's
out.
not going to do nothing, so I'm just going to kick his leg, touch him where I could touch him.
And his foot had like a big protrusion on it. It was very bubbly. He said he stopped kicking with that that leg. But then the other one was also bloody. So he was taking severe damage to his feet, and he still continued to kick this man. And William Knight, I don't know if he noticed, his corner noticed or anything, but somebody should have brought attention to that.
Mhm.
And that would have gave him maybe just a little less fear to get more active, but it didn't. And it was just terrible to watch. In one championship, this would not have happened because somebody would have got their purse taken. So I'm just saying, like, let's avoid these boring ass fights. Like, luckily this wasn't a pay-per-view, but damn, like, at what point do you say, like, this is stalling? There's no engagement happening. At what point does the ref step in and say, you guys need more activity instead of the bare minimum?
But he got the W. Unanimous decision against William Knight. That's what it looks like on paper.
It does.
Until you got to look at the highlights and you're like, there are none. No, I think it's a head kick. It's a head kick that he caught William Knight with, but it was like a question mark type kick. But it was just like went on his neck and rolled off, and William Knight just kept
moving out the way.
Yeah, and just keeping his back to the cage.
Yeah.
But next, Josh Parson versus Jamal Pogues. Jamal Pogues came through with the Unanis. Big W. And don't ever stress your mama out like that on the front row again. Nigga, finish him.
Yes.
All those opportunities, finish him. Like, your ground game is elite. I think that with a little bit more, assertiveness and believing in yourself, and believing in your punches and believing in your speed, then yeah.
There was a speed difference.
Even in the third round, yeah, believe in your speed.
I think it was more of, it took him a while to get to the UFC. It took 2 times on Dana White Contender Series. I think he didn't want to get knocked out in his debut at the UFC. To me, that makes sense. To me, he did enough to not have a boring match. I don't want to say he wanted to coast, but he wanted to be safe to not get knocked out, which makes sense.
What? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So, and Josh is a really good fighter. He's very powerful, but he doesn't have the best gas tank. But I think that he's going to work on that now. I do believe he's going to work on that. I do believe that Josh is a problem. He just has to find the things that's going to make everything align perfectly. But I think his next fight, he's definitely going to have something to prove, because he lost his match against Usman and Tough, but he still made it to the UFC. But he also just lost his fight. So he has a lot to prove. He has a lot to lose. If he wants to continue his reign in the UFC, he's going to have to show up a bit more. Jamal, I think he didn't want to get knocked out in front of his parents. The last time they saw him fight was in 2019. So I think he had a little bit of stress on his shoulders, and I think he just wanted to get the win and not get knocked out in front of his parents.
Yeah, of course. But I think that's also his fighting style. He had great entries on his takedowns. Like, his takedowns were like
phenomenal,
elite. And it was just keeping him on the ground, which was like the inactivity of like tripping his legs, keeping his legs, or even just making sure his legs or one of his heels are not on the ground for him to be able to get up. So it and I think he's a brown belt, but being a brown belt, that means that's how much further away you are from the fundamentals. Like, so it's just like those small little details.
He actually just got his black belt
on keeping big dudes down.
Yeah, because there was a 30-pound weight difference between them as well.
Oof.
Yeah, so I'm sure he didn't want that big man on top of him, because that would have just made things a lot harder. So I think he did a good job with taking him down, keeping him down for enough time to make him more tired, and he was trying to be active, but that's when he was finding those potholes when he's trying to go into the next position, and that's when he was getting up.
And that showed how good his gas tank was, though.
Yeah. Do the transitions.
To that,
yeah, he was capitalizing on them transitions to get back up to his feet, and I think his corner did a really good job of getting him back up to his feet. Josh's corner did a really good job of talking him through how to get back up to his feet during those transitions.
Exactly, and that's going to be hopefully some footage that Jamal watches and says that, okay, like, I can't just be letting people be laying around the cage anywhere, not right next to his corner. Shout out to Jamal Pogues on the W. Can't wait to see you fight again.
Oh, he took a
Josh,
nasty kick to the chin. I thought his teeth broke in round one. I was like,
yeah.
did his teeth just break? It was loud, but he said he just shook it off and didn't do too much damage. I was definitely concerned about that though.
No. Remember, Josh said it was his toes that broke.
Josh toes did break, and
His
I was
toes
wondering
broke.
why he did not just stomp on his feet. I would have been like, call it what you want, but if your toes broke and I know it, and we in a match together, I'm gonna step on your feet.
I
I'm gonna punch at your feet. I'm gonna step on your feet. I'm gonna knee your feet, kneel on your feet. I'm gonna do everything for your feet.
I think Jamal was in the zone where he ain't even noticed that he looked down at his feet. Like he looked straight down at his feet. I thought he looked at knocked the tooth out and then looked down and was like, is that a tooth? Like I
Yeah,
thought
because
that's what was happening.
his feet was bleeding too. So I was just like, man, he's not capitalizing on that. What a good sportsman, because I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it make you hard to move around.
Yeah.
Any toes broke. Next, we got Jordan Wright versus Zach Puga. And this was unanimous. Jordan Wright, go ahead, go back down, bro. Go ahead, back down to middleweight, bro.
Oh, Zach is the one who fought Usman. My bad.
Yeah, Zach. Oh, Zach Puga, yeah.
Yeah, Zach fought Usman. He
But
is a force to be reckoned with for sure.
yes, Zach came through with the big W, with the big elbows, looking very dangerous.
Yeah.
Jordan Wright was trying to smile it off.
Yeah.
And you can't smile off an ass beating. You can't smile that shit off no matter how much you try to smile, your ass still getting beat.
He got bullied.
And the thing about it was Jordan Wright, whenever he got at range, he was touching him. But Zach Poker just closed the distance every time. He had his game plan, stuck to his game plan, and it worked.
Yeah.
You know,
Beat
he
him
had
up
good
against the cage.
Mm-hmm. He got good coaching out there in Denver.
Yeah.
Like and it's like he's surrounded by a lot of good fighters as well. So he gets that good experience every day. And I don't know if this was a good matchup for Jordan Wright in his introduction to light heavy. I don't think so. I think that's what I'm saying. Like some guys just don't like Jordan Wright, not for light heavy. I don't think the power was translating.
Yeah, it wasn't. But sometimes they like, hey, here's an introduction of what you would be getting, because it could have been a lot worse. They could have gave him somebody different, and this was Zach making his entry into the UFC as well. So it's just like, this is a taste of what you could get, but it gets much worse. So you might want to just go back down, or just find something else to do, because this ain't it for you.
Yeah, but I'm sure he was going to try it again with another fight, and we'll see what Jordan Wright has. But Zach, I want to see what else he does.
Yeah, because he's definitely a force, and he has. It's not like he's just holding him against the cage. He's has so much activity going on the side, in the clinch on the side of the cage, and that's what I can appreciate, when you're just not just holding somebody for the hell of it, but you're actually doing something, causing damage. I always appreciate that.
Exactly. Shout out to Zach Palga on getting the W. I probably said his name 3 different times the whole time, but that means I said it right one time. So next, we got Jessica Andrade versus Aaron Blanchfield, and big W from Aaron Blanchfield. Okay, I'm on the train now. It took me a while, but I'm on the train now. Didn't think that she was going to take this one, especially because I had those visions of what the fuck she just did to Murphy. After what she just did to Murphy, I didn't see nobody getting past her. But that's when I was getting my heart into it.
Yeah.
Forgot about the ground game, the inactivity of the ground game. I'm pretty sure Jessica Andrade is somewhere on a mat right now. But at the same time, Aaron Blanchfield been on one before, and it's clear. Yeah. And she did everything she needed to do to get that W in the second motherfucking round.
Yeah, because she was taking some shots in the first round. But here's what I think. I think Jessica Andrade was well unprepared and just did not take it as serious as she should have, because Aaron looked great with the boxing. She looked great with her footwork. She looked great with her transition. She just looked all around great in that trip to when she got in side control effortlessly, and then end up choking her out when Andrade tried to stand up. it was just a flawless execution. And I was like, man, Erin Blanchfield, she's a hype train. I'm not on there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm there.
I'm there. This was the one.
This was the one, but also Andrade was just throwing with power, not with any accuracy. She was just throwing, hoping to land something. But that's just going to continue to get exposed with people who have great footwork, with people who have good transitions, with people who are more well-rounded than she is, because she just has a stand-up game. And that's kind of what I think we got lost in with the Murphy fight, because that was a stand-up match. That's what you get when two people are standing up and there's no MMA involved, which means we can go to the ground, we can stand up. It's just all over the place. So it's just going to continue to expose the veterans in this fight, where they just specialize in one area and lack heavily in the other areas. People are going to take advantage of that, and that's exactly what just happened. And just be on the lookout for that, because a lot of these people who were in the top 10 previously in the previous years, that's not happening anymore.
They're getting slowly washed out by people who are a lot more well-rounded. They know how to wrestle. They know how to box. Or even if they just know how to box enough to where it's solid, to where they can stand behind a jab and have good timing on a shot.
Yeah.
So like it's a new age. It's a new time that's happening, and people are realizing that being on the ground is more effective. Even though, like, as Khabib started to push it more and more, people are now seeing that it's not just being on the ground. It's not just wrestling. It's like aggressive jujitsu. That's what gets it done. Like,
we're in the age of where aggressive jujitsu is at top tier, and it is helping people in their game tremendously. There was a wave of the wrestlers, there was a wave of the boxers, and now it's aggressive.
The kickers, when Stephen Thompson was coming through,
Jose Aldo introducing the kick. So it's just like, and now she's gonna become one of those fights where it's entertaining when both of them are stand-up strikers.
Yeah.
And so, like,
AKA Connor versus Mike Chandler.
But Chandler has wrestling background.
He does, but he chooses to stand up for entertainment.
Yeah, but to be different this time. But like Stephen Wonderboy said, if you want to see some action, put me with a striker. Sir, it does not work like that all the time. Like, I get what you're saying. That's where you specialize. But as soon as you get hit with a grappler, now you're in trouble. Now it's not entertaining anymore. Now you're getting the shit beat out of you. That's what's supposed to happen. It's MMA.
Exactly. Yeah, but that was the no cap recap. UFC Vegas 69. Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield. Shout out to Erin Blanchfield on the big W again.
Yep.
Y'all know where to find us. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to stream, you want to listen to us as you go to sleep. If you want to listen to us as you're working, if you want to listen to us as you are just going about your day.
Taking a shit.
Even if you're taking a shit, sometimes I listen to it while I'm taking a shit. Find us at Apple. Find us in Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, any streaming platform for podcasts. You're going to find us there. Listen to us while you're doing anything that you want to do. That's the RoundHouse RoundTable. It's me and Monty T. And we got B in the building. Happy Black History Month to y'all. And we out of here.
Yeah. These Black history fighters not representing very well. So, yeah.
This one was better. This second one was better. It was a little bit better.
William Knight and OSP just drained the shit out of that. They just took all the credibility.
Jamal Hill did a good job.
Thank you, Jamal.
Jamal Hill saved it.
Thank you. But fuck.
Jamal Hill saved it.
It's time for these veterans to go.
I know it's cycle in, cycle out.
It's cycling out too. They get cycled the fuck out. Gone, be gone.
That's why I use the heat as a sword, cause keep the peace is important. They go keys for you. Say please. That's one, please. Don't need. No one, that's two, please. Don't leave. That's 3, 4. If you do.